Hello, nice to see you again. I'm Chris. In this video, I will show you how to use Beckhoff BACnet library to configure a BACnet IP server, and then how to check the connectivity in TwinCAT and also in third party. I hope you like my video, and let's start. So before we shift my video to TwinCAT, first of all, I would like to give you some basic concept of BACnet. So BACnet is now so many companies using inside the building automation, that it is called building automation and control network. So for this BACnet, you can control or you can get the data from for example heater and air conditioner and lighting and log in, log out, and all other building management. It is a standard protocol, and for the BACnet, they have so many the different type of data layer that allow you to implement a BACnet communication. And there's some common profile that is using in this market. For example, they have BACnet IP is using the IP protocol, and they also have a BACnet MSTP. It's a twin pair. It's a RS485 protocol based on RS485. Okay, so and then I will explain some important concept of the BACnet. The first one is the object. So object inside the building automation, it used to implement, it used to present the elements and the components inside their building or inside their room or something. These objects, it should maybe sensor, it may be actuator, it may be controller, it may be data set point. So many things that you see, you can touch in the real world. So let's take an example to this air conditioner. So for this air conditioner control, you have the temperature sensor, you have the set point, you have the logo and remote mode switching. For example, I think you also go to hotel before, that some room you cannot change the room temperature by yourself because they have a control center. They manage all the temperature inside their room, so it's remote something. They also have the status, should show you that the air conditioner is normal or not, or if any error. So sorry that maybe I cannot cover all the objects inside these pictures, but maybe at least you have this object. For example, for the temperature, adjust bottom, you have a binary input object. For the present value, you have a analog output analog value object. And then for the on-off bottom of the controller, you have the binary input object also. And then maybe sometimes you have the browser that show you, hey, how now the temperature changed, it's too hot, something. You have a binary output object. So here is this a list that the object that we commonly use in BACnet, but not just it. They have more than 17 objects that in their specifications. For example, you have the analog input, analog output, binary input, binary output, and binary value and analog value. And then for each object, they have an instant number. If you used Ethernet IP before, I think you know what's instant number. Instant number is just a number for each object to implement the object. For example, the function block, you have instant. For example, if you design a car, you have an instant. Because the car, how to say that? For example, you design a car, okay? Then you have a design diagram, so it will be the object. Then the manufacturer will depends on your design diagram. They will produce, they make the car. So the real car, it will be the instant. Okay, so you only have one design diagram, but you have 10,000 of the car. So all the thousand, the first one will be instant 1, the second one is instant 2, etc. And for BACnet and for the Ethernet IP, same. This is because of this, they have this instant number. They can confirm that there's no duplicate inside their system of each same object. For example, in here, you have a temperature adjust bottom here, then you have a power on off bottom here. All those two are primary input object. How did you confirm that you can accept exactly this one but not this one? This is why instance number is here. And then BACnet, for each object type, BACnet provide the properties and service. They have a state as set. For example, in here you have a this primary input with instance number 1. You have the properties, for example the current value and the alarm status, the limit something. Then you have to have the service to read this value and or to write this value. So service. So for the BACnet service, it means that the device can, the main device may be the other third party that is connecting to your BACnet server. This device can read or can do some actions to your objects. And here is some common object is showing here. For example, you can read the property, you can write the property, you can send a broadcast outside. They'll see, hey, who is this object, something. And then you also can subscript COV and change your value, etc. Okay, now we can shift a little bit to explain what is Beckhoff and BACnet. So for the Beckhoff, they have a new library called TCV_BACnet REV14. It is a OOP concept for engineer OOP concept library that allow you to more easy to engineering to configure your BACnet for BACnet project, and it provides so many convenient functions there for your controller. And I think it's not easy to understand, but at least they write this down in menu. For TwinCAT, they provide in the BACnet, they provide two types of library in here. The first library is TCV_TACnet REV14. It is a library for they provide some function block, data type, global variables, and parameters for you to implement the BACnet object engineer. And for this side, they have two versions. They have source code or without source code. The library that you normally import inside your TwinCAT project is without source code. Then if you need source code, maybe you need to send a request to a Beckhoff office, then they deal with them. Then they have the library called TCV_B2_common. It also provide a set of function block or etc. But this library will provide a engineered units or PID controls the other type of building automation. And actually in this tutorial, I just use TCV_BACnet REV14 to create a BAC object in my project. And now let me introduce my project in this time, the compilations. This compilation, I use TwinCAT as example and configure a BACnet IP server, and then I will show you how to use the features inside TwinCAT to check the connectivity between the BACnet server, and then I'll use Node-RED to show you how to how to write or to read the property inside TwinCAT's BACnet server. And so introduction here is enough. Let's start the programming. Okay, now we create our TwinCAT project, and now I'll show you how to configure a BACnet IP server in TwinCAT. So first of all, you could need to add a BACnet IP driver. To do this, go to IO, open it, go to device, right click, add new items, and then choose BACnet and BACnet IP device. As I mentioned before, BACnet has different types of data layers, allow you to access different nodes in different communication protocol. For example, in here you can see this IP device. It means that the TwinCAT will try to access the BACnet server, or they will try to implement the BACnet features by using IP protocol. If you use a BACnet MS TP device, it means that Beckhoff the TwinCAT will use serious communications. So in this case, we will use BACnet IP device. So click here, and then the device find at pop-up is shown here. You can choose the interface that you would like to configure as a BACnet interface port. So you can, but if you don't confirm, you can just choose none, and then click the BACnet again, and then search, and then choose the interface that you want. In my case, I think I am using Internet 2. Okay, it's Internet 1, sorry. Okay, great. Now the interface is created, and then now you can add a BACnet IP server. So just right click, add new item, then choose BACnet server. Then also have client and notification thing, but I think I will explain these features in the future tutorial, but in this tutorial I just explain how to use BACnet server. It's very easy. Press OK, and then a BACnet server is inserted in your project. When you open it, actually there are still some default object is created inside the server, but there's some parameter you need to set very carefully inside. It is a click here, and it is the BACnet ID. As I mentioned before, the BACnet ID is a unique number that you cannot duplicate with other BACnet server. So just maybe, I think in the new application you will get a list that which number that you can assign, or you need to assign this number, then you need to follow their rules, something. Okay, but in here, because I only have one device in here, I just set to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. Okay, it's finished. Then I can close it, save my program, and then I need to add a PLC project in my project. Right click PLC and add new items. Stand the PLC project and add it. Okay, and PLC project is added in your TwinCAT project, and then go to reference, right click, add library, and then search REV40. So you need to insert this TC3 underscore BACnet REV14 inside your project. And as I mentioned before, that TwinCAT provides two libraries for you. The first one is this one, TC3 underscore BACnet REV14. It allows you to implement the BACnet object, for example, like unlock value, binary input, binary output, or unlock in output something. And the other object that it will provide the engineering unit and PID controller for you. So, but in this tutorial, I just use the TC3 underscore BACnet REV14. Let's skip this library and press OK. Okay, right now this library is inside your project. Now we can start to create our BACnet object in the program. Let's open voice and main, and I'll zoom it a little bit big in here, and I will define a object called BACnet objects AV, and it is a FB BACnet AV. It means this BACnet object AV will be a BACnet underscore unlock value objects in here. Then finally, what you do is very easy. You just need to call this object in your program. BACnet object AV. Oops. Great. Now you finish. So you need to build your project in here. Go to build and build solutions. And great. Now the solution is finished without any error. Then here is your PLC project instance, and open here. You find PLC task input, and here is the available. So you need to link to your BACnet server. Right here, change link, and then choose the AMSnet ID and click it. Okay, finish. Okay, now everything's finished. Then now we can download the configurations into our TwinCAT runtime. So let's press activate configurations. Okay, and just 1 second. Yes, we set our system. Great, I think we download, and you can log in into our runtime and then play it. Great. Now first of all, we can open the object that we defined before. Then you should see a B ready is turned true, so it means that your this object is ready to use. And now the value is I think 0.000. Let me see a second. I think the value is in here. Yeah. And so here the FP value is 0. So how can I change the value? I can just here put a number, any numbers that you want, for example 9.12345, and then turn on the BACnet Pro, and then now the current value will change to 9.12345, and then when I turn to 4 seconds, the value will turn back to 0. Okay, great. And then now I would like to show you how to use the Beckhoff dynamic object manager to check the connectivity or between the BACnet server and your TwinCAT runtime. So go to the Beckhoff IP's BACnet server, and in here is a field called dynamic object manager management, and just scan it. Then great, you'll find it automatically a main.BACnet underscore object AV that is added in your tree, or you can just choose dynamic objects. Then here you can find the analog value here with the number of 10,000, and this value is very important when in the next part when I try to use Node-RED to access this value. You need to have this instant number, and as I mentioned before in the last slide, the instant number is very similar to Ethernet IP. Ethernet IP, it is a it's a number, it's instant, is a just a function block. You will implement what do you want. For example, you like to build a car, then you have a car object. The car object, inside the car object, will know how to drive it, how to what to brake, and what to speed something, and you need to. But it is just a design diagram. And when you need to make the car, you use instant. So you only have one design diagram, but you have so many cars with say design diagram. But then actually instant 1 and instant 2, they different, not the same car. It's the same. Then just say instant is the instant number. Then you don't duplicate the object inside your network. Okay, so and here when you open the main BACnet object, then you see now the value is 0. Then when I try to turn it to value on again, and you see the value change to 9.1234. Okay, so in here is finished. I show you how to use how to add a BACnet server inside TwinCAT, how to check it with a dynamic object manager, and in next part I'll show you how to use the Node-RED to access this node and how to write the new value in the next node, this node. Okay, now here's my Node-RED screen. Actually, I install a Node-RED server in my other PC. Then I just access in my TwinCAT IPC. So before that, you need to, before you start, you may need to download the BACnet node. Then very easy, just go to search Node-RED and BACnet, and there's a command that you just type in the command, that you can download the node and install in your server. And after that, in your Node-RED editor, you should see these three Node-RED read and write and command. You see three nodes. Okay, let's start. I will delete all here. The first thing, I would like to read the value now. So what I need to do, I just drop a BACnet read node in here and double click here. For example, the first one is the name. The name is just up to you. For example, I choose to Beckhoff BACnet node 1, and then what's the type? You can use this icon, click this icon, so you can choose the type in here that you want to access. In my case, it is analog value, so I choose analog value. Then I automatically change the value to. And then for instant, what is the instant? So you first click the pencil number, then you add a new instant, and here is I enter 10,000. So where is the 10,000? As I mentioned before, then you go to TwinCAT and go to the Beckhoff TwinCAT server, and you go dynamic objects, then you see a number called 10,000 here. So it is the instant number of that analog value. So you should need to make the match here is 10,000. Okay, and then so here is the property ID. So where is the property? You go search here, that you can choose which property that you need to read from the BACnet server. I need to read the current value, but it's not very easy to choose here, to search in here, right? So I go back to TwinCAT, go to main.BACnet and underscore object and AV, and then here I would like to reach to access this value, right? So in here there's the ID, a field called ID, so it is exactly what's the property ID. In here the ID is of the preset value is 85. So in here I just need to go back to my notepad and then enter 85. Finish. Then for the device, what's the device? You can just go click the pencil. Device is the IP of your BACnet server. In my case, this is my IPC server, IPC IP address. So, and then for the client, the client is your local network interface. In this case, 244 is the IP address that I install my notepad server. And this is the important thing called port. So by default is 47808. So in the TwinCAT here, you go back to the Beckhoff TwinCAT server, and here is the UDP port with 47808. So please match this number also, don't make any mistake. And then okay, I think it's finished, it's done. And finally we can put a inject no, and then I put a debug. Then we can download the flow. Okay, and then just press it, right? Then you see the value now it's coming back, it's 0. Okay, just gonna change some value to make sure that we get the correct value here. Go to here, for example, add in the core 888.91.912, and then change it, and then go back to the notepad and then clear all data and read again. Now we should see the value is read. Okay, now we can try to write the data also. To our BACnet service NOC. How to do this? Very easy. And drop the BACnet right. Look in here. Just double click here. The name is up to you. And for the type, it should be analog value. And for instance, is the instance we said before. It should be same 10,000. So the app type is the data type of your node that you need to write. Just search it. It is real. If you don't confirm, you just go back to TwinCAT and open the main.BACnet and go to preset value. Then you see the data type is real. Okay, and then for the property, it should be 85. Again, if you don't confirm, you can go back to here to see the ID, the value, the data type, and what is this is for. And then for the device and client is same as we configured before. We will not explain here. Just click the button bottom, and again to drop a inject and drop a debug and connect the input and output, and then download it. Great. Okay, so let's create in here, click here, you'll see the bit value now is 0. Then you click a right value, so here is undefined, but you go back to your TwinCAT, then sorry, here is a very important, and for what kind of value would I to, there's a value field that what value that you did write, then no, for example write 3.1499. okay, just do it again and clear the date again, the output debug window again, press it and then press it, okay, undefined, and then go back to here, you see the value change to 3.1499, and then you just put here and then change to right value again, and the value change back to 999.88.912, and go back to here, you go to read here, then you see the value is 88.911, and then just if you turn back to false, then the value turn back to 3.1499, and you read it again, as sure the value will be 3.199. okay, so I hope you like my video. I think I finished in my first BACnet tutorial, and in this tutorial you know how to configure a BACnet IP server in TwinCAT, and then how to use the dynamic object to manager to scan or to add this value, add this node inside your project. And also I told you how to use Node-RED to install to use Node-RED to access, to read or write the node that inside the BACnet server. okay, so I hope you can see the next video, and please have a good day. Bye bye.